I grew up with the philosophy that sport can help you become a better person. And I want to be remembered as somebody who used their tennis to impact other people. I'll take that. These are the courts I grew up playing on. When I was a kid, my dad and I were looking for us or whatever. You knew we'd probably be out here on this first court.
Coco Gauff has signed a huge relationship with Rolex, one of the greatest sponsorship deals in tennis history. Let's just say that there was a strong response throughout the tennis community. Some players are pleased for her, others, let's just say a few smiles looked a little fake. So tell me, is Coco's success rubbing people the wrong way, or is it sheer jealousy? The news dropped early this morning. Coco Gauff is officially partnering up with Rolex. Yes, that Rolex. The brand that exudes heritage, luxury, and prestige. The same one that's had Roger Federer, Serena Williams, and Tiger Woods on its list. Coco Gauff should now be included in that select group. Tell me about your objectives in tennis.
Tell me about your ambitions in tennis.
What do you mean?
And let me tell you, the internet went crazy. Fans of tennis were excited. Her pictures were all over the media's timelines. And the brand world basically said, yep, she's the future. But not everyone was smiling because somewhere across the tour, a few golfers undoubtedly choked on their protein drinks when they saw the headline Coco Gauff x Rolex. And leading that silent reaction list, Aryna Sabalenka. Now, before everybody comes running, no, Aryna didn't say anything. However, tennis fans on the internet observed that she abruptly stopped talking after the news, which is amusing because she is typically rather active when significant stories come out. She is the type of player who shares information about her training, victories, brand partnerships, and grind. She doesn't hesitate to discuss such things. However, there was complete silence this time, and people took notice. Because here's the thing, Coco's new Rolex deal isn't simply another endorsement. It's a declaration. Rolex doesn't just hand out partnerships. They choose sportsmen who define eras, icons. Ever, Federer, Serena, and now Coco. That means something. It implies that they are investing in a legacy rather than just a player. And that's the interesting part, because Aryna Sabalenka, for all her power, awards, and raw dominance, hasn't exactly gained that type of recognition outside the court. She's a Grand Slam champ, yeah, she's ranked high, yes, but in terms of global influence, Coco's miles ahead, and that's got to sting a little. You can already notice the change in how brands move. Coco is already the face of Nike, New Balance, Barilla, Bose, and now Rolex, and she's not even at her best yet, she's everywhere. She's designed for this new generation of sports heroes, from fashion shows to magazine covers. Despite her skill, Aryna hasn't been able to shatter the same ceiling. And it's not because she's not talented. The reason for this is that Coco offers more than simply strength. She is a presence.
I remember she's about 5 or 6 years old and we were watching Australian Open. Serena wins. I remember saying, man, she's going to be the GOAT. And she said, what is the GOAT? I said, that's the greatest of all time. She's like, I want to be a GOAT.
The promo film was a big smash when Rolex published it. It wasn't just about timepieces. It was about legacy, family, and growth. Coco was shown training on the same Delray Beach courts where she was raised in the beginning of the video. You could hear her voice saying, these are the courts I grew up playing on. You may find my dad and me right here. Then it switches to her dad recalling how she had declared she wanted to be a Goan after watching Serena win. That instant, that spark became the start of everything, and Rolex captured that perfectly. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't loud. It was meaningful. They told Coco's story like it was history being written. From watching Serena as a child to becoming the player young girls now watch her.
I think I just enjoyed the fact that, everything is on your racket, your terms. My first tournament that I won, I was 8. It was Little Mo in New York City. It was the first time that we felt like I could do something far in this sport.
And honestly, it's a marketing masterpiece because Coco doesn't need to try to be sympathetic. She is relatable. She's young but wise, confident but humble, competitive but grounded. She's the entire package, and Rolex knows it. Fans on the internet began making similarities right away. Coco's getting Rolex offers while others are still complaining about line calls. Some players chuck rackets. Coco signs contracts. Although the sarcasm was severe, it reveals how she is perceived by others. She's not just another athlete. She represents the upcoming generation. Someone who brings grace and grit at the same time. And honestly, that's why Indy hits so fast, because it's not just about money. It has to do with respect. Coco is getting recognition that others have been chasing for years.
I was 10 in this picture. It was a big deal because tell somebody you're a national champion, they think you're legit. When I kind of made my name in the sport, Wimbledon 2019, this is one of the dresses that I wore throughout.
It reminds me of when Serena first signed her enormous Puma deal back in the day. People doubted her, too. Claimed she was too young, too vocal, too different. However, Serena is now a corporate powerhouse. Coco's walking the same road, and it's making some individuals nervous. Let's be honest. Or has spent years grinding. She has spoken out about not always receiving equal recognition or attention. In interviews, she has even implied that sometimes appearance is more important than actual performance. It must be upsetting to see Coco land a Rolex deal at the age of 21.
It's remarkable. She's the youngest qualifier in history, and now she's about to compete against her idol, Venus Williams.
It felt like a storybook.
Her game is so calm and so focused.
I just remember not looking at the scoreboard the entire match because I didn't want to see her name. The hardest points of the match were the match points. It felt like I was holding my breath. I don't want to be known as the girl who got close.
Because Coco doesn't only play tennis. She is a symbol of something greater. Her grandma integrated schools in the 1950s, and her father created a dream factory out of vacant courts. Her mom taught her discipline and patience. And now Coco's turning all of that history into motion. She is wearing more than just high-end clothing. She's redefining what that luxury implies. Rolex's statement that they selected Coco because of her dedication to quality and morality wasn't made at random. That's what brands want now. Athletes who are more than just trophy winners. And Coco brings that everywhere she goes. She has discussed her family, her beliefs, and her conviction that you can use your racket to improve the world. These are not merely lovely quotations. Her entire concept is based on that. That's the kind of thinking companies dream about connecting with. Meanwhile, the tennis world's watching this all unfold. Additionally, the whispers are almost audible. Why her? Why so quickly? Is it merely public relations? The answer's simple. It's because Coco understands. She is aware of what contemporary athletes are expected to be, not just winners, but voices. Not just players, but icons. Aryna's an incredible athlete, no doubt. But Coco has that remarkable capacity to make everything she touches feel bigger. When she succeeds, it's a cultural triumph as much as a personal one. That's why brands line up for her. And this Rolex partnership, it's the cherry on top. It's validation that Coco Gauff has officially crossed into elite territory. The burgeoning star is no longer her. The star is her. But here's where it gets funny. Everything is inevitably turned into drama on the internet. In a matter of hours, followers were altering pictures, creating memes, and creating fictitious captions such as Aryna checking her wrist. Like, there's still no Rolex. The memes were funny but cruel. Even tennis Twitter had a field day. One post said, Rolex signed Coco because her time is now. Another said, Aryna's going to start wearing a Casio out of protest. For you, that is the internet. Savage but true, because, in reality, this is more than just a watch sale. It has to do with timing. Coco's timing has always been flawless. She became one of the youngest athletes in history to sign a contract with Rolex after defeating Venus at the age of 15 and won her first Grand Slam. Everything about her rise feels lyrical. She is a living example of how success comes easily when talent and genuineness are combined. Others are undoubtedly uncomfortable because she doesn't pursue it, instead, it comes to her. Because Coco's not out here begging for attention or trying to prove herself through loud interviews. She just works and the world notices. That calm, steady confidence, that's a real flex. While others are counting rankings, she's counting blessings and apparently brand agreements. And let's be honest, Rolex didn't simply sign Coco for what she's done. They signed her for what's coming next. She's the kind of player who's still at the beginning of her prime. She has at least 10 more years of supremacy ahead of her. Additionally, Rolex is aware of their desire to develop alongside her. This is the reason this bargain is so potent. It's not a quick campaign. Coco isn't merely sporting a Rolex, therefore it's a long-term legacy decision. She is a Rolex. Precise, classy, powerful, timeless. And seeing that must be, to put it mildly, frustrating for someone like Aryna, who has been fighting for every last bit of respect. But Coco earned it.